Welcome, everyone, to the Wheel Reads for Season 11, Episode 6.
What up?
What's up?
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. My internet's being kind of wonky, but at least I have internet. Chris is not here tonight because he doesn't have internet. Like, none.
Yeah.
Charlotte's still in the dark
down in
pages.
North Carolina.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that hurricane really just tore them a new one. So
Yep.
he says I guess the internet company said that the internet will be just restored on Friday. So we're just like, yep, we're going without you. Sorry, dude. So he sends his best. He's kind of bummed because he did want to record this. I think, what is his message? These are some great chapters. I'm mad I'm missing these, something like that.
Yeah. We were messaging back and forth a little bit. These have been fun with him, but
yeah, these are good chapters. Y'all have fun. Yeah. So he's a little bummed out, but it says what it is. We can talk in deeper voices.
Yeah, I can put the mic in my mouth and talk to all the ladies. I can't do it like him. He's just so smooth with it.
He is. He just has that way.
Often imitated, never duplicated.
Mm-hmm.
Kuma.
The Kuma, yeah. This episode is brought to you by, I wish we had whiskey sponsors, but I'm drinking Elijah Craig tonight because I feel like it. So, yay. Elijah Craig.
I'm drinking water and eating salads. I'm down
nice.
12 pounds.
Ooh.
Since I started tracking, it's a little bit more from my highest, but from when you and I first started talking about paying attention to it, I'm down 12.
Yeah. I haven't gone to the gym at all this week because I've been trying to sell a house.
You've been working out at the house. You've been working.
Oh, yeah.
That counts.
Been doing the stair steps, going up and down the stairs, carrying boxes. Been doing lifting there, so it's been fun. It's been good times. We list the house for sale on Friday, so 2 days. In 2 days from when we record this, when it comes out, hopefully the house will be sold by the time this episode comes out. Because I am like a month behind on releasing episodes. Like, someone actually in Discord mentioned it. Like, dude, last time you had an episode release was like August. I was like, yeah, it's October.
What day is today?
What day is today?
Is it
dude,
Tuesday?
Guys, I'm selling a home. So, like, I do these recording nights when I can.
Still living in it with little kids. You got to put all the facts there. So,
yeah, I got little kids. I got 3 of them that are crazy and not sleeping well because of all like the crazy disruption. And
it's that age.
Packing my house up, painting everywhere, and fixing every little thing so we can get as much money as possible out of the house. So, and then hopefully I'm moving. Hopefully it sells soon, and then we move. So that's the idea.
Yeah.
So yep. So,
well, I find out next week if I will be renting this place out or if I'll be selling it. So I might not be far behind you.
Yeah, and you might be coming back down here. Maybe.
Yeah, I will either live out of my car and or find another boat to live in.
Nice. Get leaky episodes again. You have to go back at the cell phone recording them.
I hate how happy I was there. Like, it makes no sense for me to. Anyways,
you can go back to listen to old episodes. I'll know how happy you were. It's you glorify it now.
Well, yeah, it was a lot less stress. The things I was unhappy about had nothing to do with
the best of times. It was the worst of times. So in chapter 1 of the Tale of Two Cities,
saved me.
Boats are great. Yeah.
Yeah, the marina I stayed at had fantastic facilities. So the boat I was in was falling apart, but the facilities were great.
Every liveaboard I've ever met, like, it's about a year you got before you go crazy.
Depends on who else is on the dock with you, but the guys on my dock are already crazy. So
I've never met sane liveaboards. They're always a little batshit.
Like, but I am a little batshit. So, like,
yeah, I guess.
Why am I faking it trying to be in a condo in West End of Richmond? I don't relate to anybody here. There's not one person in this side of Richmond that I'm like, these are my people. No.
Yeah.
I don't hate. I can't relate at all.
Yeah.
They're like, I worked harder, made more money, and bought more things. And I'm like, none of that excites me. I want none of that.
I have I didn't say friend. I have a neighbor. I won't say friend. I have a neighbor acquaintance who's like super conservative, and he lived in our neighborhood, and they just moved out to a more conservative neighborhood because they just had a kid. He's like, I'm not going to raise my kid that has when there's pride flags everywhere. So he bought a house. Of course, you can't like interview who your neighbors are. Moves in, and the neighbors come over, live next door to a lesbian couple. I'm like, that's
Adam,
some.
welcome.
You just spent all this money and did all this stuff to leave, and yeah,
Welcome to 2024.
2024. And it's good for hopefully get some sense into him. I mean, like I said, acquaintance at best. He's a neighbor. That's I'm gonna leave it at that.
I'm familiar with his existence.
I know it exists. Yeah, exactly. His wife's really sweet.
Yeah.
And their kid's really sweet. They have a little baby. But yeah, anyway, can't change people. We actually can change people, but some of that stuff's deeper rooted. He's a good old country Georgia boy. He came up here to be, I guess, military or something like that. But he gets some of those.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. What else is new? Personal life. I'm still in a house. That's all that's going on. My wife and I are celebrating our 11th anniversary this weekend, and then we go to the Outer Banks for a week next week with the kids. So no recording next week. I'll be on vacation. Yeah, just let you know. In case you didn't know that, Ian.
Yes, I heard. Sorry, I'm in chat. Somebody started talking about sailing and living on boats, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
me too. And we've had some similar experiences, so very cool.
Yeah, actually, with that boat that I saw I posted, was that Bay Chaser, the one I've read those for the Pearson?
I was zooming in
tagged you.
trying to see if it was, but I couldn't see the front. If it was fractional,
Yeah,
then it might have been.
yeah, because it was over there at the same marina, and it's like for sale, and I was like, "You want to buy it back?"
Yeah. I think they were asking more than I sold it for, and I don't think they really fixed it up. So
I don't know. It wasn't that much, like $2,000 something like that, or I don't know.
yeah,
It
well,
wasn't
they're about the
expensive,
same. Everybody's just trying to get their money back.
Mhm.
That was a good little boat.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's the one thing that has not inflated at all is old sailboats. They're still the same.
Yep.
Yeah. Still the same. Yeah. Yeah. I have lots of conservative friends. They're fine if you don't get too much into politics. Yeah. I mean, like I said, he's a nice guy. He's a nice neighbor. Just as far as like you didn't get into too much on political beliefs. It was, yeah. I have nothing against conservatives. I consider myself a centrist, so it's I get along with everyone. Extreme centrist.
I don't know that I fit on any spectrum.
I don't know if I do
I
either.
have the best conversation with libertarians, but
Mhm.
if you've had conversation with multiple groups of libertarians, you can't really group them together.
Yeah,
They're a wild bunch.
it's like
So like
what someone
there's
said.
things socially that I want extreme freedom. There's some things economically I want extreme freedom, but then there's some things where I recognize like there's such an impact to society that there has to be some, I don't want to say oversight, but there has to be some laws where we come to agreement how we're gonna, you know, prevent each other from overstepping, you know?
Right.
And so
Yeah.
I end up pissing everybody off at some point.
Yeah, there's someone that posted something like my political views are I believe that the lesbian company, the couple that owns a farm has the right to have a machine gun to defend it. It's like
Right. Yeah, I'm kind of like that.
it's like yeah,
You do you,
right.
boo.
You do you.
And if you're loving doing you and it's bringing you happiness, I'm gonna high five you. I think the safest thing that I can say publicly that somebody's yet to explain to me how this isn't good. It's the idea of liberty bubbles, essentially. I'm all about individual liberties, right?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Literally, Alan, I'm okay with you 100% doing whatever you want inside your bubble, right? And that bubble is as big as it could possibly be until it bumps into somebody else's. And once you're overlapping with somebody else's liberty, there has to be agreement on how you respectfully share that space. And
Sure.
it's just that simple.
Yeah.
So if you're not bothering anybody by running around your house naked, doing shrooms, blah blah blah, like whatever the heck you want to do, like I don't care,
Yeah.
But am I cool with you running around up and down the street when there's kids playing at 2 o'clock in the afternoon? Like, okay, no, because now you're infringing on other people's liberty. So that's
So
what
on
it
the
comes down
political
to me.
reads,
Yeah.
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 So we'll see. Like I said, selling the house, that's a big thing. This weekend we might go to Busch Gardens. I don't know. Maybe.
Mm.
We're talking about that. There's also a New Produce Fall Fest at the park. So I don't know. Last weekend it was just getting stuff ready for the house. That's all I did. Oh, and I got I had to play like super babysitter dad, which I was not happy about because I got roped into it. Like I was trying to do stuff around the house, and the whole idea was like one of my son's friends was going to come over for a play date, and I was like, okay, cool. And my wife was like, yeah. So the wife in the family had a bridal shower, so the husband was coming. So she's like, I'm gonna go run errands. He's gonna come over with the kids, and you guys can just hang out, have some whiskey, watch the kids because they have a bunch of kids. And I was like, okay, cool. Sounds good. I can still putter around the house while that's happening. Car pulls up, the wife gets out. And I was like, I'm supposed to be in a bridal shower? And, like, my wife's gone. And she's like, oh, no, my husband had to go out of town for business. And I didn't call, but I got to run errands. So I'm just dropping my kids off, if that's okay. And I'm leaving. I was like,
Okay.
okay. Did you call my wife first? And she's like, oh, no, I just figured it'd be okay. And then she just turns around and leaves me with 2 kids that I've never really met. And,
At what age?
one was 4, the other was 6. Like,
Oh boy.
and I'm like, I immediately call my wife. I was like, I mean, I can handle this. Just letting you know the situation you're walking into when you come home.
Right.
It's so it's like
Once upon a time that would not bother me at all, but nowadays there's just such a huge difference in how people parent and raise their kids. Like if a kid's over the age of 10 for sure,
oh yeah,
it almost doesn't matter. But younger than that, some people are very peculiar about
yeah.
their kids. So unless I know you, I'm not. And it's not even that I'm
I
like
just
crazy old school. I
they
don't like
just
going
wanted to
around
watch
spanking
TV.
kids or
They
nothing,
just
but
wanted to watch TV. So I was just like, all right, here's some TV. I just
right.
went in the
So
other
you think
room and
that's
puttered.
safe until you run into the mom that like, they only do a half an hour screen time a month. You're gonna rot their brains out. And you're
Well,
like, I mean,
you left
it's
them.
SpongeBob. Like I don't know. It's good for everybody.
Yeah, but you left them anyway. Yeah, no, it's yeah, it was fine. It's just kind of like a curveball that I was not expecting, but yeah, it's okay. And they're terrified of dogs, so I had to like handle my dog as they're screaming. So they drop off, leave, and then the kids immediately start screaming, crying. I'm like,
Perfect.
perfect. This is wonderful. This is awesome.
Yep.
And my dog's getting super excited because they're making high pitched noises, and it's like, oh, cool. Play partners. My dog's all like super excited and wants to go play, and I'm like, all right. So fun times.
Yeah.
So how's your personal life? What's going on with you? Working out some
Um,
busted out
it was the
leg.
best of times, it was the worst of times.
Busted, yeah.
The obviously there's we do the personal life and there's things that happen here and there that we don't necessarily share, but I've been pretty open about the relationship stuff here and there, especially with Meredith. So that has come to an end, and not necessarily surprising. I think after the last time we kind of semi broke up, then got back together, just was never quite the same. Those of y'all that hung out with us during JordaCon this last time, I mean, that should have been a little more eye opening for me. It just, some people enjoy the drama and I don't. And some people actively seek out the drama and I can't do that. And obviously there's more to it than that. I'm not going to put stuff on blast here, but so I'm just trying to figure things out.
Okay. When you figure out life,
And
let me know.
I mean, not even like all of it. Just really the main reason I'm on the west end of Richmond was to, continue to pursue this relationship. And without that, like, there's really no reason for me to be over here. All my
Yeah.
people are still back in Newport News. My family's there. My kids are in Williamsburg. Um, and it's just awkward because she just bought a house like a block away from me. Like I could throw a rock at it,
Yeah.
and it didn't end nicely. So yeah, I just don't want to be here. So have like I was mentioning to Alan earlier, looking to see if I could rent this place out. It's a condo, so there's a HOA. You're supposed to live here for 2 years before you rent it. I've been here a little over a year, so I'm looking for an exception from the board.
Hmm.
And if they don't, I just don't see me staying here all the way through the end of next summer. It just
Yeah.
feels weird.
Yeah.
So at that point, I'll try and sell. And
Cool.
at this point, it's somewhat of a bummer, but also, uh, y'all have heard some of our stories, and Alan, you know this more than anybody. I've been through some stupid stuff in my life. More than half of it's all my fault, but I keep landing on my feet. So even if I
Half.
didn't want to believe in God,
Half.
like,
Half.
yeah, yeah. A fair amount of the times, like, I'm shooting myself in the foot. But like I do, I always land on my feet. And given enough time, half the time I wind up better than I was before. And, so I guess it's easy for me to look at this situation and be like, this too will pass. And there's be
Yeah.
something brighter when I get through it. And I believe it. So
Sure.
just kind of sucking it up right now.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
without getting into any detail. That's kind of where I'm at. It's an awkward, it's okay, but it's not great.
Yeah. I'll
Alan
I'll
sends me
continue.
sad songs every now
I'll
and then, and
continue
I
to send you
cry.
like, yeah, really really sad depressing songs that make you want to
It
just
was so good though. I listened to it twice and I was like, but you got to do that a little bit when you're going through this too.
Oh, sure. You gotta get in the motions. You get in
You
the
can't just
feels.
bang on your chest and be like, I'm just angry and that's it. No, man, it's
Yeah.
there's a little grief involved. A little. There's grief involved ending a 3-year
Yeah.
relationship.
Hmm.
Um, so
Oh
you know,
yeah.
stuff to work
Yeah.
through.
Yep.
I got on Tinder just to see like what, and not even getting on there swiping, liking a bunch of people. I signed up and then I get on like once a day to see who's been liking me.
Yeah.
And that gives you an idea of like the type of people that find you physically attractive. Obviously, they don't know me.
Yeah.
Um, and just going by that, and it's a very shallow way to measure. Like I could still attract some sevens and eights.
Okay.
The nines and tens that were in there, I'm pretty sure if I were to talk to them, they would try to get me to send them money. So those are outliers. I'm not counting that. But there were some solid sevens and eights that some pretty healthy
Yeah.
folks
Sure.
swiping my way. So I think
Yeah.
whenever I'm ready, I'll be okay.
Yeah. I stopped dating before the dating apps really became a thing. So Tinder
Yeah,
wasn't a thing when my wife and I started dating. So like I've never I've had friends that experienced it. I've never experienced it. So it's just kind of um yeah. Been around people that use it. Yeah. It's a different
gosh.
way of doing things.
Light blinded fool. There's something about your messages tonight. I feel like we're on the same wavelength between sailing and some of your relationship comments. We probably need to have a sidebar conversation that I'm not gonna get into on the podcast. But man, I'm looking at you, looking at me, looking at you.
Yeah.
It's I need to get out of here.
Anyways, speaking of relationships, let's talk about some Matt and Tuon.
Yeah, perfect. This is great. Oh man, let me not try and
Uh,
relate every bit of these chapters to my life right now. I'll try not to do that.
Chapter 11, and then we get into Fael and Perrin next episode. So,
Yay.
all sorts of fun stuff. Yeah. So a hell in Mattern. Mattern. Um, so we start this chapter. Luca's traveling show sets out very early in the morning. Um, And about midday, they stop at a little town called Matterin. Um, Tuon has Matt call to her because that's what
Come
she
to me, Matt.
does.
I have a
Um,
request.
yeah, and she
There's
wants him to
something I'd
take
like to
her
do.
to a hell in this town. It's the roughest part of town, pretty much the ghetto.
Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Alan, you've traveled with money and you've traveled without money. And let me tell you, as a guy, there are places we will go, not necessarily because we're bad people, but we feel safer doing
Mm-hmm.
it, even though it's sometimes not safe. I've been to places where it's like the worst kind of, I mean, it's risky, but it's still
Oh
fun.
yeah.
And if a female in my life was like, I want to go to one of these places and experience it too. No, no, you don't. You have no idea what you're asking. No. Like no. So like I felt Matt in this. Like there's probably still more about Tuan that we don't know. I'm certain of it, right?
Sure.
But just so naive in this request. And Matt scrambling like, trying to think, how can I give her what she wants without giving her what she wants, because that is not a place for her to be, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sometimes,
Yeah.
yeah, String Flame's right. Sometimes the seedy places can be fun. I mean, I've been to some of the best bars, or the most seediest, like hole in the wall, crappy rundown, and they are
Shady, but fun.
tons
You
of
can still
fun.
come across some, I won't even say good people, entertaining people, gregarious people.
Mm-hmm.
So like there's some fun and joy and whatnot to be gotten out of it, but it's not
Yeah.
safe per
No.
se.
No. Not safe at all. But
Right.
fun. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, even the United States. I mean, overseas, 10 times worse. But even the United States, like if you going like downtown Newport News, in certain parts there, there's not really bars down there, so it's not like you can do that. I guess you can get an alley, but
Yeah.
that's different. Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
I've never been inside the alley. I don't think I've ever
Mm,
been in it.
I went to Magic City with the football team.
Oh
We were
yeah.
all underage, but they let us in because we won states.
I went to the Oaks and all the time back when I was in high school, in Hampton.
Yeah, you introduced me to that.
Yeah, the Oaks. That was
I'm like 17 years old and they're throwing darts and they're serving me beer.
you're,
There's
you're
no way they
trash.
thought I was 21. There's no way.
They just
They
didn't
just
care.
they just wanted the money.
Exactly. That was one of those. That was a shady place we went to. But like I've been to a bar like East St. Louis, which is like one of the most biggest murder capitals in the United States. Like East St. Louis is horrible.
Oh yeah.
On the Illinois side, and I've been to bars there. I mean, it's sketchy. I've been to really, really, really sketchy places overseas, where it's like,
Yeah, the wrong move and you're getting shanked in the alley or something.
mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
I could just picture you like, I don't know how much of your adventures you've shared with your wife, probably some, but I in this
mm-hmm.
scene, I picture you like going, oh yeah, happy, look, here's a picture of me traveling to blah blah blah. And then I went to this bar and you tell her about it. She goes, that's exciting. I'd really want to go. Let's go there on vacation and you could show me. And I could just see you going, uh,
No,
not that one. No.
no,
No,
yeah.
we're not gonna do that.
Well, we did our honeymoon. We went to Thailand for our honeymoon, and
Did you take her to all the places you went to when you went to Thailand by yourself? Right, that's what I'm saying. Thailand's fantastic. There's lots of cool stuff to
there's lots
do,
of really pretty stuff in
but
Thailand.
you don't
There's
you
lots of
don't
seedy
take a
stuff in
woman
Thailand.
you care about to a hell.
No, no, you don't. You
Yeah.
don't. Well, as they're living this little argument, Tom comes and interrupts. Uh, Comes in, and Tom's like, you know, I'll take you someplace. And they get onto the White Ring, which is not quite all the way in the bad part, but it's close enough that Tom's like, this will be enough. Thinks it's rough
Yeah.
enough.
Well, to my point, Tom kind of saves Matt here because Matt's trying to figure out how, like, he knows he can't really lie to her. And if she finds out that he did, like, this could be bad, but he doesn't want to take her to the worst of the worst. And Tom offers the suggestion to go there, and Matt's already thinking, and he's like, okay, that's not a hell, but okay, Tom's co-signing on it. She'll believe it. What does she know? Like, she'll see that it's bad, and okay, this will work. So Tom saves the day a little bit here,
Yeah. Yeah,
gives him an out.
definitely. Yep. So they go there, and they're kind of hanging out for a while, and Matt's kind of bored, and Matt does what he does when he's bored. He starts to throw some dice. And Tuan's like, ooh, how does this game work? He's like,
Doesn't she kind of challenge him to do it? Doesn't she bring up the
yeah.
luck stuff?
Mm-hmm.
He was encouraged to, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
she wants to see how lucky
everything
Matt
about
is.
this is testing Matt.
Right. And he starts to win. But then one of the guys is like, I've had enough. And gets up and walks away.
Yep.
Which we'll put a little earmark on that for later this chapter. But
Yep.
yeah, he's dicing with some of the and his luck's definitely running with him. He's and it sounds like the game they're playing is similar to craps, but 3 dice. I think is what, because they were going for what, or 2 dice, because they're going for 14.
I don't know enough about it. I don't know enough about craps.
Or maybe with 4 dice, because like
one of my brothers was trying to explain it to me, and craps, the betting seems complicated to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, so craps is set. I mean, you try to open up with a 7, or if you don't hit a 7, you try to hit the same number again, which is kind of like what they're doing. So, but they're playing with I think 3 dice.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. So anyway, playing 3 dice. The only game I know to play there is CeeLo, which is that's a whole different dice and some CeeLo. There's not many bars in Newport News you can't go into. At least not. I take that back. There's not. Going back to Hell's, really, really seedy bars. There's a lot of bars that you'll go into and you can find a dice game. I've been drunk in many dice games in many bars in the back of the bar throwing dice. Yeah. All I know is you don't play dice with Ogier. It's like you don't play Sambach with the Wookiee.
Right.
Yeah. Is it Sambach? Is that the name of the game?
The one where it's like the hologram chess thingy, but with the animals and stuff.
Sambach. Let's see. I'm looking it up.
Wild tangent here, but it still cracks me up that Harrison Ford, when he did his first Star Wars movie, he was like semi-embarrassed to do the role and was like, gosh, this is so dumb, and then it turned out to be like one of the most iconic roles, and he's one of the most loved characters in it, and he eventually embraced it, but like a handful of the characters early on were like, what is this movie? This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it. Someone probably in chat will be like, no, it's called, that's it, Sambach. Yeah, there you go.
There it is.
Cool. There it is.
It's only a matter of time until chat saves us.
Chat saves us. I'm sitting there trying to look it up. I'm like, I think I said it right. I said it wrong. I added an M in there. It's Sambach, but not some. Sa.
There you go.
Yeah. Actually, like whatever. Yeah. But
well, so the flow of this dice game is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Matt's winning, so he is kind of whatever Tuan's looking for, proof of how lucky he is or whatever. He has the opportunity to demonstrate that, and some people are getting upset, and Matt's smart. Even before his luck, he's always known how to work a room. He's up and he takes some of his winnings or whatever, buys drinks for everybody at the bar. That kind of makes him happy. And then what is it? They're like right before he's done, like somebody's like going all in or something, and he loses. And she's like, oh, your luck's run out, sort of thing. And he's like, no, I don't think you understand. That might have been the luckiest roll of the night.
Yeah.
Because even though this wasn't a hell, it was still a pretty shady bar, and he just took a lot of money. A lot of money from some people.
Yeah.
So to be able to lose it back to them, he didn't really lose money that night. He was probably still up a little bit and or broke even. Everybody got their money back. He's thinking less likely to get shanked in the alley.
Sure.
Little does he know, but I thought that was very wise of him, looking at her being like, no, that was a lucky roll.
I've been there. So I had a friend in college, and there used to be an illegal poker game that they ran over in Portsmouth, P-Town. And if you've ever been in Portsmouth, you've ever been in the Navy Station in Portsmouth, you guys know what I'm talking about. Portsmouth is, you're talking about a hell. That is one of the most shadiest.
Some of their waterfront areas, I always have to say this now, some of their waterfront areas very nice. They have a couple of neighborhoods that are very nice.
Very nice.
But then the rest of it,
Most of Portsmouth is scary. So we used to play. It was in an old, like abandoned, like bowling alley, and in the back they ran a poker game. And me and my friend, we used to play a ton of poker, and we knew how each other played. We didn't cheat, like we wouldn't have signals or anything like that. We just knew how each other played enough. Like we played enough together that like we would go and sit down at a table together and not know what each other had, but have like an extreme advantage because it's two against the rest of the table.
Yeah.
And we would go and wipe the floor. But by the time we left, it was always like sunrise, and we're walking out with pockets full of money in Portsmouth after we just took all the people's money. And every time I was like, we're about to get shanked.
Like, yeah. Quickly to the car, stop talking to people. We got to get out of here.
We got to get out of here fast. Get in the car. Let's go. Yeah. But we made a lot of money right now. Just going down there and just college. We had a ton of money going down there and doing that. But yeah, it was fun.
It's always nerve-wracking, especially if you win big on like your last hand of the night. Even if you've already told people, hey, this has got to be my last hand. If you win big on it, you're like, oh shit.
We would go down there with like $20 in our pocket and leave with 1,000. Like it was that kind of like,
yeah.
Which for a college kid back then was, let's get.
So that's how you're making money. Meanwhile, I'm entering drag contest.
You did. I remember
making a couple $100. I mean,
yeah. Teach his own.
Yeah, it's not that it was my thing. It's that I was poor in college, and the flyer said first place was like $300, second place was 200, third place was 100. I was like, I could at least make top 3.
Yeah. Always fun. So yeah, after the game, Tom comes up to Matt and he's like, "Hey, let's gather some information from some people around here, and Tuon, you might need to get her out of here." He's like, "Why?" It's like, "So there are people looking for a daughter of the Nine Moons imposter, but they're giving her description, and apparently it's for a big reward." And he's like, "Perfect, we'll just turn her in. I can get rid of her. This is awesome. Like this is my way out." He's like, "No, they're not trying to capture her to put her in jail. The order's to kill her." Like, and he's like,
right. They're not trying to find the actual daughter of the Nine Moons. It's been put out that she's an imposter, and it's like a kill on sight. Yeah. And then don't they tell Tuan, and she's like, probably my sister, da-da-da-da-da. Like, just takes it as like, oh, what a clever move by one of the family members that's trying to off me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Yep. So they go to leave, and they get outside the tavern, and what's about a dozen? Yeah, about a dozen swordsmen. Swords drawn, coming right for him. Matt's like, all right, it's go time.
All right. So I know it's a dozen, and they're already pretty close. I get that it's really just Matt and Tom fighting. But we've seen some Matt fight scenes when he's like in good form. And I guess he has been injured since we really see him, last seen him pick butt and take names. So there's that.
But he also, the really good form, he always had a bow staff.
Right. Okay, so his weapon's a little different. That's fair. Now he's just daggers. But Tom has been dagger Tom, daggers in the mustaches.
Yeah.
And
sneezes daggers.
The only thing that threw me off about this is we've talked before how since the beginning of Eye of the World, not that much time has passed. We're not talking like 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a few seasons. Are we a year, 2 years?
How much time's passed?
Since like the beginning of Eye of the World?
Year and a half. Maybe 2 years.
Okay, great. That's what I thought. Maybe less than 2. But in this scene, it was the first time it hit me that Tom is slowing down a little.
He's getting old, man. It happens fast.
And I know I'm kind of jumping to the end of this fight scene. But I don't know, in my mind, I thought for sure Matt by himself would be able to handle it. But Matt plus Tom, I thought they'd be able to take on a dozen like absolutely no problem at all. But they struggled to get this done. Still cool. I mean, I say struggle. 2 took on 12 and they won, right? that's freaking amazing. So they're still awesome, but it wasn't easy. And, Matt was kind of backpedaling the whole time. And we find out that Tom got diced up pretty good, got a few cuts. And Matt might have actually died if Tuan didn't step in to finish things.
Mhm.
Did I read that right?
Yeah. No. Who stepped in?
Tuan.
Yes.
Didn't she
Yes.
step in to save Matt, essentially, the
That was
very last one?
because of the woman. Matt refused to kill
Oh,
the woman.
that's right. That's right, because Matt was like backpedaling big
Yes.
time and didn't want to have to engage. So, anyways, pretty cool how Tuan stepped in, though. I mean,
Mhm.
wasn't it like wrist control, arm snappage, and then some
Yeah.
stabby? Wasn't there also stabby?
There was some step. They didn't kill her, but definitely left her disabled.
Yeah, disabled. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yes.
The
So Matt
only, I
takes
guess,
out.
the only other disappointing part is like this is literally what Tuan wanted to happen. Maybe not
Yeah.
necessarily like this, but
Yeah.
she wanted to see Matt fight whatever, see if he'll protect her, blah blah blah. Like this was all a
Like
test.
blinded
It was
fool with the comments tonight. Tuon's like, I'll cut a bitch if you won't.
that's what you need though. I mean, I think they're a good combo. I think once they realize it and stop dancing whatever dance they're doing, I think they could be pretty good together.
Yeah.
And hopefully she doesn't. We'll see what the conversation is later, but hopefully she doesn't see Matt as weak because he doesn't want to do that. I certainly wouldn't want to see a 2-on that encourages Matt. Like, nope, when it comes down to it, you got to dice up the women too. Like that wouldn't be cool.
Yeah.
I'd have a little less respect for her.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm. Yeah. Sure. Let's put it that way. Sure. Sure. But yeah. So I mean, the total of the dozen was Matt kills 7 of them, but he does get cut up pretty bad.
Yep.
In the process. At that point, they decide to leave Matter and Lucas' show as well as fast as they can, because Matt's worried about being recognized. Just because he was with the guy Dyson earlier, he recognized one of the guys there and thought that it might draw it back to him and blame him for the fight, that kind of stuff. So it just, and then plus the whole news about Tuan. Maybe traveling such a flashy group like a circus is probably the best idea right now. So I don't know.
Yeah. Talking about the going separate ways.
Yep.
Incognito.
Incognito. And that's how we end this chapter. So
Yep.
it's a good one. It's fun.
I have not been in a knife fight. I have gone to visit somebody from my unit that got in a fight. They did not have a knife, but the other person did. And you don't ever want to be in a knife fight. I'd rather be shot than be in a knife fight. It's
at a
just
friend in
nasty.
college. I had a friend in college. I shouldn't laugh about this. So he ended up not getting robbed because of what happened. But he had a knife. He had a switchblade. And this is like 18, 19 years old. I thought it was the coolest thing. He lived in an apartment. Someone broke into his apartment. And he was sitting in his computer chair, grabbed his knife, turned around, didn't even get up, just flipped it out, and like went while he was getting up to go try to attack the guy with the knife, ended up stabbing himself in the leg. Like, and the guy that was robbing him was like just freaked out and left and didn't steal anything because the guy just stabbed himself in front of him. I was like, well, I guess he didn't get robbed. So that was the plus part. But it's like so I guess I have a friend that's been in a knife fight. I don't even consider that a knife fight. He just stabbed himself in the leg accidentally as he was trying to get into a knife fight. And knives are a little close. I guess you have to ask your UK friends. Don't they use knives all the time? Is that their thing? Yeah.
Where?
United Kingdom.
UK, yeah. Well, I mean, it's more talked about there, but it's been a thing in like Eastern Europe, and I don't know if it's taboo to say this, but I apologize if there's a different word for it, but in like the Czech Republic and Slovakia, the people that are from there always complain about the gypsies,
Mhm.
and we've always referred to them as that, but they're still kind of nomadic-ish people, travel around. They don't really
Mhm.
have a home per se. Anyways, but a lot of the interactions between them and the local folks in some of the big cities and everything, knives are involved a lot.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's been happening for, I don't know when were knives invented. About that long.
Yeah. There are gypsies in Prague. Yes, there are gypsies in Prague. There are
Is that
gypsies.
just the
There are
tinkers?
gypsies in just the tinkers. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, all
Um,
around Eastern Europe and Croatia and Bulgaria and
Romania.
Romania and yeah.
Oh, they're in Italy. They're all. I mean, there's been
Italy,
there.
yeah, could have been.
Yeah,
Now that
quite a
being
bit.
said, in my travels there, I've made friends with groups of, I can keep calling them gypsies until somebody corrects
Tinkers.
me. I don't know
Just call them
why.
tinkers.
Right, tinkers. I'll call them tinkers. And coolest shit people. I hung with a group of them for a few days in outside of Bratislava.
Yeah.
So I don't want to just label them as the problem,
So
but the cultures button heads ends up being a problem, and knives
my
get brought
wife
out
is.
often.
So my wife used to be a wedding planner. That's what she used to do for a living. And there was a guy that got married to a Romanian woman whose family were gypsies, but that's what she called her own family. And we went to a gypsy wedding here in the States.
Okay,
And
so I guess it's still a term we can use.
I guess, I don't know. But um, they had like passed down like silverware. It wasn't silver, it was goldware, like forks and knives they were using. They brought out some passed down for generation to generation, like generational set of gold
Wow.
that they were going to use for the wedding to eat, so the bride and groom could have, the bridal party could have it. At some point during the night, it went missing, and I'm like, this is the most stereotypical gypsy thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
It'd be funny if you asked around and they're like, "Yeah, no, this is part of their tradition. This always happens." You know?
No, the mother of the bride, or the mother of the bride was all pissed and like was like having the staff dig through all the trash cans to make sure people didn't throw it away. And it was like everyone knew, like someone stole it. Come on, like
That's
uh,
funny.
yeah, it was, but very stereotypical. But at the same time, I was like, this is just like classic stereotypical, like what you would expect, like which is bad to have stereotypes like that. But at the same time, it made it ironic and
Yeah,
somewhat
you got a
humorous.
chuckle out of it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
had like, a little laugh out of it, but still felt bad because I don't know if they ever found the
Right.
flatware.
Anyways, that whole tangent was just all about don't ever get in a knife fight.
Yeah,
Rule number one in knife fights is do not get in a knife fight. Even if you win, you're gonna get cut.
oh yeah,
And we're talking chunks of flesh and stuff. It's not cool.
yeah, not fun. And with that being said, don't ever get in a bamboo fight with Ian.
I will
Bamboo
aim for your
canes.
knuckles.
Bamboo canes. Whew. I think I still had
Yep.
scars somewhere from that. Uh,
See, the key is if you go for body shots first, they still have the full defense of them holding their bamboo stick. Once you get a hold of their knuckles a few times and they loosen up their grip, then you can knock the bamboo out of their hands, and then you can beat the living shit out of them.
Getting racked on the knuckles with a bamboo cane as you're trying to do a sword fight with no guard is some of the most
It's so bad.
painful. So bad. We had
I
a
think
bamboo grove or forest or whatever that grew next to my parents' house, and we used to go pick pieces of bamboo and we'd trim down to sword size and have sword fights.
beat each other up.
Beat each other up with a bamboo cane, and whew,
I think getting cracked in the knuckles was worse than when you finally drop your bamboo stick and they crack you across the thigh. Like getting cracked across the thigh, it hurts really bad, but the knuckles was ugh.
I mean, half the battle is just picking the right bamboo shoot or bamboo stick. Because, like, if you picked one that was too brittle, if you picked one that was too soft, it flexed too much, and you didn't get the rigidity of to use it effectively. And if you used it, got one that was too brittle, like you would hit, and then yours would break in half, and then you hit again, it breaks in half again. Next thing you know, you have a tiny little stub of a stick left.
Yeah.
So
And the big thick ones are not necessarily the better ones either. you know,
Yeah.
because you got all that resistance as you're swinging it, but you don't want too small either. It's got to be Goldilocks.
That's what she said.
I wasn't even thinking that. But that was perfect.
I had it in there. Not too big. Not just, if it's too big, it might hurt. But if it's too small, it might not do anything. So what are we talking about? Are you ready for chapter 12? Let's go to chapter 12. Manufacturing. We'll go ahead and get started. I'll enforce all this. All right. What are we talking about again?
The next chapter. What is the next chapter?
A manufactory.
Manufacturing. All right, I know I listened this one. You're gonna have to get us started for it to click where we're at.
All right. So Perrin.
Oh, this is the Perrin thing. Yeah.
This is Perrin, yeah. He's tying knots. Doing a little knots.
Well, this is the chapter where they really gotta bluff their bluff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is when they meet with the
This is interesting. And is there anything leading up to going to talk to this guy that we really need to get into?
Not really. I mean, the previous chapter just said they made a gateway and they went there. So the previous Perrin chapter.
Right. So obviously we're going to talk to whoever we need to talk to get all of this potion, whatever made, that's supposed to, go to get all the wise ones to drink so that they're not able to channel, right? What's the root? The something root? Fork root. Yeah. Well, so we're learning a little bit more. I don't have it pieced together about how this hierarchy works within the Shanchan. So the person that they're going to, because of his position, has more authority than the person that Perrin is currently with. Significantly more. But they have this note that's signed by
Saroth,
the Grand Poopah.
Yeah, Saroth.
Right, that's what I said.
Yeah.
But this person that's in charge, it's not that he cannot listen to it. It's just if he interprets that what they're requesting and what this letter is saying, if he interprets it however he wants, like essentially there was no guarantee that letter was going to get them what they wanted. There was some bluffing that was going to happen to make this work, and in a timely manner. I'm rambling and butchering what's going on here, but that was the gist of it.
Sure. I mean, we start with Perrin. He's 51 knots. So it's been 51 days. Ties a knot for every day that Fayel's been missing. And he needs this plan to work. They get out of the gateway. The Banner General, I'm going to butcher this name, Kirgan of the Shanchan. They want to use the Rockin.
Well, pause for a second. You say Perrin needs this to work. Yes. I think everybody here, including the reader, needs this to work, because Perrin is so committed at this point that if this fell through and got to the point where like this guy was like, no, F it, kick rocks, at any moment Perrin might just go, fuck it, pull out the hammer or axe, one or the other, and just start taking heads. Like, I feel like Perrin is right there. So yes, Perrin needs it to work, but I think everybody here needs this to work. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
Need is the key.
Yeah. So the good point. So it's Tylee Kirgan that wants to take the Rockin. She's the Banner General. But also says only one person can ride per Rockin because of weight or whatever. And Perrin's like, no, we got to get there because we got to get carts anyway. Blah blah blah. We're not fine. But I think although she does, I think they use a few, but anyway. Perrin urges them on. They ride to the fork root manufacturing. And this is where they have the scene where it's him and I can't remember the name of the person. She's they start going with the Shanshan ranks too in this, and she's
Yeah.
the third, I think, right? If it was a fourth or fifth, they're like, yeah, we would have been a pushover, but she's a third. So like the lesser the number, the more higher, closer
Right.
to the royal family, and yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I probably should take more notes on it. I'm sure it will be important, but
Sure.
all I really took note on was that there is very strict hierarchy,
Yeah.
and we're getting a taste of it here.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So Kevin comes in, hands the letter over, and is like, yeah, we need all the pork ribs. Like, we can give you that. And the Banner General immediately starts to like say, well, let's start to negotiate. And Perrin's like, no negotiation. You don't do this, Sorrel said they're going to kill you and everyone here.
Well, it was kind of clever. Like he essentially went with that, but then the Sean Chen person that he's with, the second or third or whatever her rank is,
Right.
is like, well, surely, you know, she would have me killed and probably you, but probably not him. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
maybe, but probably not him. He might be fine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You know, as
Yeah.
if to get that person to think about it and be like, all right, they know they're dead if this doesn't happen. Do I really want to risk
Yeah.
me also being dead?
Well, I mean, the Banner General afterwards like comes up to parents like,
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Yeah, pretty much. Perrin
Bold
just swung for the
strategy.
fences and was like, and to my point, this isn't exactly what he said, but it was a bluff. But he was like, I mean, either you do this or we just all die right here,
Yeah.
right now.
Good point, Light Blinded Fool again. He said Sarath rather than the High Lady, so they figure that he knows her more personally, which Perrin had no idea that like that was the whole
Right.
thing too. Like he accidentally said it the
He
wrong way.
Taviran, no accident.
Yeah, Taviran.
It was a Taviran moment.
Taviran.
Taviran.
Taviran. Yeah, definitely Taviran. The whole incident.
Definitely Taviran.
Definitely Taviran. Definitely. Yeah. Add the two, carry the one. Yeah,
Bet
definitely.
on the sixes. Yes.
Sixes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Six is gonna hit.
Qantas. No plane crashes. Qantas. So yeah, so they get everything, carts and all, and had a little conversation afterwards, like saying like, yeah, we're good now. The bold strategy, all that stuff like that. And as they're going to leave, Perrin gets some Bon Jovi going on. Well, just misses the heart, but shot through the heart. But it goes right through through his leg or arm? It goes to the arm. Hits his arm. But he turned just in time. It would have went through his heart.
He turned and clipped him in the ear.
Wow. Too soon?
Too soon?
No,
Too soon.
too soon. Yeah, I don't do it on the podcast, but I am the king of being way too soon when making jokes. It's just
Oh yeah.
It's how I cope. I know it's insensitive. A lot of people get upset about it because it's dark humor, but it's like when I'm going through really stressful things, I just lean into it. It's just that's what I do. Like there's a comedian that had a whole joke about that, which was really insensitive, and I don't know if I can repeat it on this podcast. I'll get canceled, but it was pretty good. It was about the Colorado shooting, not the Colorado.
Oh
the
yeah.
in the movie theater with the Batman movie theater.
Still too soon, but yeah.
Yeah, he was like the day of. He tweeted out or something like that. He's like, "But was the movie good?"
Oh yeah.
Besides that, was the movie good? Like
yeah.
Yeah, dark humor.
Well, you'd have to tell me any other.
No.
You know, I won't speak on behalf of all the military, but I think it's pretty well known, especially those that have found themselves in really crappy field or combat situations. Like we deal with stuff with really dark humor. And you almost feel bad laughing at some of the stuff people say, but it gets you through.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So the thing I sent you the other day, how U.S. soldiers are trained versus the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very true.
U.S. soldiers are different.
A little bit.
Yeah, I've met plenty of Marines, and yeah, even infantry, army guys, but definitely Marine guys, like enlisted Marine guys. It's they're a different breed.
Yeah, and they like being that way.
They do.
Yep. Part of our conversation the other day, this is a total tangent, not related to this, but part of the conversation after that video sent, Al and I were talking about like how with the U.S. military, even if you had great sharpshooters and stuff like that, you don't target the officers. And it's not because like, oh, we love our officers so much or anything like that. It's you don't understand that most of what they're doing is keeping we'll call it like the E6 rank and below, those NCOs, keeping those guys from going berserker.
Yeah.
And so if you get rid of that leadership that is trying to keep it under control, you're just going to unleash a whole just insane amount of
as I told
warpaths.
you, the officers and the higher up enlisted guys know about the Geneva Conventions and know what war crimes are.
Right.
Your average infantry and Marine does not, and you kill the
I didn't pay
lieutenant.
attention to that as an E5.
They don't care anymore. There's no one to hold them back.
It's just the gunfire came from that way, so everything we have is now getting pointed there. Everything. So
the officer will say, like, hey, there's a school there. Let's do precision. You kill the officer. It's like, okay, we just bomb the crap out of everything over that direction. Just level it.
Yeah.
I laugh, but it's, the military's different.
Yeah, well, when I first got over there and they talked about escalation of force had to be proportional. And I'm like, I thought like once they poke you, you just could do whatever you want to stop that. They're like, no, it has to be proportional. I was like, well, that doesn't make sense. So that's the common mindset of like your lower enlisted folks. They're just, oh, you picked a fight? Mistake.
It's also funny how Canadians get like the reputation of being some of the nicest people in the world, have the same sorry all the time, nicest. Half the Geneva Conventions and like the war crimes were written because of what Canadians
because of Canada.
Canadians. Yeah. World War II and World War One Canadians were the worst.
I like to think it's because they like Canada so much, and not so much that they're defending it, because at a certain point, people stopped trying to take Canada. The rest of the world just said, you know what, you can have it. But they like being in Canada. And because they had to go somewhere and fight, they were pissed that they were there. They're like, I want to go home. I want to get some of my syrup. You made me come here. It's about to get real. And then when it was over, we were like, all right, next time we'll think twice about inviting Canada.
Yeah.
Secondly, we need to make some rules that all of us are going to follow, because
some of that stuff was
shady.
I think it was World War One. Like in the winter, they would get in the trenches and get close to the German lines, and then throw canned food over into the German trenches, and would do it for weeks. Like, hey, here's some extra food, and they're all starving outside. So now they're coming every day to get So it goes on for like 2 weeks of them throwing every day around dinner time. Throw a couple cans over to the Germans, and then they throw a grenade.
Grenade, yeah. Okay, what? Sorry, I'm not laughing.
That's Canada.
I'm like blocking the camera so you can't see me laugh, but like, all right, that's so bad.
It's so bad. That's why you have Geneva Conventions, because of what Canada was doing.
Yeah.
Because that is,
all right.
That's a war crime, by the way, guys. Guys, that's a war crime. You cannot do that.
Yep, and during deer season, you can't hunt over a salt lick. You can't bait them. Same concept.
On private property.
Alan's like, when nobody's looking.
No, public land, sure.
Right. Yeah.
I spilled some salt.
Perrin got shot with an arrow.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. Wasn't a Two Rivers bow, because he wouldn't be able to deflect it if it was Two Rivers stock.
Yeah. And I know I listened to this, but so the Shanshan that were with him didn't hesitate. They got engaged. Did they find the person, or they sent somebody chasing after where it came from?
They saw like where someone moved up on the, so they sent someone over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, get Perrin out of the situation. They start asking him, like, do you have enemies? He's like, I'm a little far out from Messina to do anything because we traveled all the way here. It's a little far out from Messina to send someone, you know. So it's not him. I mean, it could be Forsaken. He even thinks that. Like, it's like, but, they have so much other means of doing things besides getting some random dark friend to shoot an arrow at them. He's trying to figure out where this came from. So there's a whodunit kind of mystery going on right now. Among Us.
Spider-Man meme.
Yeah, emergency meeting. Imposter. No. Yeah, do Dark Friends and Forsaken count as enemies? Not for Alan, no. They're friends. Dark Friends. Shadow Pals. Come on, guys. They're friends. It's in the title.
That's funny.
And it's not Forsaken, it's Chosen.
Yeah, the Chosen.
Guys. The Chosen. Yeah. And Perrin also goes to get himself healed, too. But yeah, they report that I guess the person who shot poisoned themselves afterwards.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
So.
That sounds like a. So I mean that's kind of like a professional assassin type thing. That's a conspiracy. That's a. I mean, so there's certainly, whether they were successful or not, they probably would have poisoned themselves. And you poison yourself so that there's no hope of them being able to get any info from you or anything like that, So certainly covering their tracks. So this is kind of a well-planned, clandestine attack. Ignorance for Alan. Look, I need one too, but yeah, let's focus on Alan a little bit. He needs it.
It's an intervention for Alan being a dark friend this entire time for 4 years now. 4 years. Yeah.
What's the odds of Ian actually being like settled and married by the time we finish this podcast?
We're getting close. We're way
How many years we got left?
Depends on how slow we just slow down and how much this keeps going. How many weeks we take off here and there.
Do you think I have 2 years? Year and a half?
I got a year and a half. Year and a half, 2 years.
That's pushing it. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, 2 years till we finish. These folks,
yep.
know.
We'll see.
Yeah. Well, I was meant to click on Dana. We'll never save Alan from the dark.
Yeah. Oh no, you had it right. How's married being settled? I guess I didn't mean it in terms of am I going to settle and get married, like I'm settling.
No.
It's complicated. Certainly, like my solitude, and I recognize that I have a unique enough perspective on the world, and I don't see things the way society wants us to see things. So I end up butting heads with a lot of people's perceived realities. So I'm a complicated person. I get that.
Yeah.
But I also crave intimacy. I don't like being like alone, like.
Oh, I remember I was going to do this episode. Hold on.
Is this my turn for therapy?
No, I meant to play a clip. That's definitely going to get us this taken down. So I'm going to do it.
No, Dana Lou, that's the thing. I won't settle. And man, and it's not that things weren't good enough with Meredith. It's that they weren't what I wanted.
Yeah.
It felt like settling.
Yeah. I was going to play. So in the last chapter, I forgot all about this. They mentioned that the instrument that was played in the bar was a hammered dulcimer. You ever seen a hammered dulcimer being played?
Oh, yeah. Awesome. One of my roommates in college, Andrew Otto.
He played a hammered dulcimer?
Yep.
So I had
a mountain dulcimer.
Okay. I was going to play a clip of a hammered dulcimer in case people didn't know what that was, but I still can.
You can if you got it.
Yeah, hold on. Let me share my screen.
Excited.
And it's a great cover. You got this? You see it? You see it? That's good. All right. Hopefully the audio comes through. Yeah. Anyway.
All right, and you remember my roommate Andrew?
Everybody wants to rule the world. Sorry, Tears
Wait,
for Fears, man.
Can't you picture Andrew playing an instrument like that? Like he
Yes,
was all
100%.
super excited about
100%.
it.
100%. Yeah.
Yep, yep.
Great
Yeah.
song choice. Yeah, Tears for Fears. Anyway, but yeah, that's a hammer dulcimer. So I was like, really cool. I was like, it's a really obscure instrument, and it mentions it in the book. Actually, in Wheel of Time a couple of times. So I think Robert Jordan had a thing for hammer dulcimers, but it's like obscure medieval instrument that is not really played much anymore. Can double as a barbecue grill in the backyard. Probably can't. It's
Nailed
awesome.
it. TK Moon for the win.
Great song choice. Yeah, that Tears for Fears. No, that guy's awesome. If you look at the Tears for Fears hammer dulcimer cover, it's fantastic. Guy does an awesome job. But yeah, so it's yeah, cool instrument. I meant to mention that last chapter. Like I thought about it all day today. I was like, going to do it. And then we started doing the chapter, and I was like, and I don't know why it just popped in my head. I was like, oh, I was supposed to play a clip. But yeah, so hammer dulcimer, cool instrument that's not played anymore. But back to Perrin and arrows and assassins.
Got healed up.
Assassin
people killed themselves to cover their tracks.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Shady business.
Shady.
Now remember, we just found out not that long ago that there is a kill order for Perrin and Matt.
Oh, yeah, that too. From the Forsaken. Chosen.
So could they be behind this?
Possibly. Chosen? Yeah. Maybe. But they can just travel there and use some one power shit. They can do some finger blasting.
They don't like doing a lot of overt stuff, right?
Yeah,
they're going to use minions. Or they might at least try minions first, you know?
Yeah. I don't have a minion clip. Banana! Steel guitar. Yeah, steel guitars are great. Tim Reynolds playing a steel guitar is always fantastic. If you ever see some real good
what about is it Robert Randolph and the Family Band?
Randolph.
Yeah. Y'all go look that up. They opened for a while, they were opening with Dave Matthews back in the day.
Yeah.
And when I found Robert Randolph, like that was tell you what, you got an ice cold beer in your hand and in the lawn seats, the amphitheater, and just dancing around and some good music, good times.
Yeah, steel guitars are fun. But yeah, I think that's how we end this chapter. He heals himself. They're like, yeah, who's your enemies? He's like, I don't know.
Everyone?
Yeah. They like to use the soulless.
I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't like
They do like to use gray men to do assassinations.
Right. Yep.
So, but I don't know if this was a gray man.
Yeah, I don't know.
It didn't hint to that at all.
Back in the Matt attack, though, wasn't there like a reference that one of the guys was gray?
Yeah, there was.
But it wasn't described.
But it wasn't a gray man. It was,
like a gray man. Yeah.
His hair was gray. He looked older.
Gotcha. That's what I meant to ask. I was like, were they trying to make us think this is a gray man? Because
no.
That'd be even more impressive if one of those were in the bunch and Matt and Tom pulled it off. But
yeah, my father-in-law used to play steel guitar. Yeah, it's really cool when you find obscure musical instruments. I always like old obscure instruments that people don't play anymore, especially you can rock them. It's just cool. It's different. Get a harpsichord, just rock it.
I could play a recorder. 3 blind mice all day long.
Well, play My Heart Will Go On.
Professionally. Well, you don't technically have all the notes to do My Heart Will Go On, but you can make it work.
Yeah. The hurdy-gurdy. Yes. With the little crank on the side.
Yep.
The hurdy-gurdy. That's a good one. Yeah. A couple good ones.
The spoons.
The spoons. Oh, yeah. If you get someone that plays spoons really well, that's really, really cool. That's Appalachia type, though. That spoons are good.
Yep.
Anyways, that's how we end this chapter. It's not a long chapter. Actually, it was a long chapter, but there's not a lot of substance to it.
We zipped through it.
I mean, at the end, Perrin counts still 51 knots. He's going to add a 52nd one the next day.
Yep. Ta-da. And they got their
Ta-da.
stuff. They got their supply.
Mhm.
Knowing Perrin, he does not care at all that he got shot. Wondering
No.
though if we're gonna find out that the arrow
got
was
healed.
poisoned. You know,
What'd
because
you
you
say?
got that. I
Find out
wonder if
what?
we find out that the arrow was poisoned
Mm-hmm.
that
That
hit Perrin.
girl was poison.
I mean, clearly
Poison.
the people that did the shooting, they killed themselves. They poisoned themselves and died.
Yeah.
Or maybe even worse, the arrows they use, it was given to them and they had no idea it was poison and they shot it, thought they failed, and then died, not even knowing that they had poisoned themselves.
This is like some
That's
KGB
something.
CIA type thing with the
Yeah, but that's something the
cyanide
Forsaken would
capsule in
do.
the teeth.
Yep. The parents could get back to the camp and be like dying.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you heard this, but congratulations on getting to this log. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, it's already getting way better.
Oh, it's way
It was
better.
really, it was really just the last book. And I feel
Mhm.
like if we could have zipped through it, it would have been bearable, but it was rough for a while.
It was.
This book has been building nicely. We just keep
Mhm.
getting more goodness every
Yeah.
couple chapters.
Well, speaking of chapters, you're gonna love the next one. So before we get to that, favorite
Choices.
character. Favorite character.
Ah, shoot. Sorry for the yawn. Don't even. This is tough. You know, I want to say Matt. I want to say 2-1.
Mm-hmm. Just say it. Just say who you really feel in your heart.
I want to say Perrin.
No, that's not it. That's the one.
It's
in
not
your
Tom
heart.
Mayonnaise.
Oh, come on. In your heart.
No. I'm kind of torn. There was a couple people that had moments. I kind of want to give it a 2-1. I kind of want to give it a 2-1 for finishing off that girl and like
Okay.
cracking bones and stuff. But I hate that kind of takes away for what Matt and Tom did. But it's like between Matt and 2-1.
Yeah.
That whole scene there kind of did it for me.
Okay. Matt and 2-1. Sounds good.
What about you?
I'll give it to Tom.
Tom?
Tom.
Yeah, Tom is the man.
Tom's always the man. I like Tom.
Yep.
Tom's still doing his
I'm
thing,
like-
despite the fact that he just got his whole world rocked just last episode, and then he turns around and still shows up, and
Yep.
still doing his thing. Yeah.
Taviran is the best character this chapter. That's true.
Yeah, Taviran.
Yep.
So next week, or not next week, next week I'll be on vacation. In 2 weeks, we'll be doing 3 chapters, 13, 14, and 15. It's Siege. Yeah.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Wet Things.
Giggity.
And then A Different Skill.
That could go along with Wet Things.
I can go off. Yeah, they can.
You should always seek to be learning there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, this will be oversharing, but this is part of my relationship drama stuff too. A relationship should not just be built around the physical, right? I get that. And that's not what I want. For me, I think I mentioned this early on before I started dating and then ended up meeting Meredith. It's like I've never been the type of guy to be able to sleep around. I mean, I can't. Even when I was younger, it's not like I'm getting old and it doesn't work, blah, blah, blah. For me, there's always had
They
to
make a
be,
pill for that. Sorry, go on.
but there still has to be attraction for the pill to work. And for me, there has to be
Sure.
some sort of emotional connection. It could be a little loosey-goosey. There's got to be some emotional connection. So like doing repeat one night stand stuff, I've never desired that or anything like that. So, but I do enjoy that. And I have had a couple of good relationships that have been focused on that enough with good open communication that with the right partner, uh, you know, if y'all are pretty focused on each other, man, you could just constantly keep reaching new heights.
Finger blasting is the best.
Yeah, I mean that's just part of it. That's like it's only like step 2 of a 10-part process of a 2-hour session, you know. But you can't have those type of glorious moments with just some random hookup, right? That takes you got to build that skill together.
Sure.
So that's part of it too. That might sound a little bit shallow, but like, yeah, I want that.
Okay. So is that about wet things
Wet things and new skills.
and new skills? A
Should
different
always-
skill.
after you
A different skill.
different skill. After you kind of like get good at the ones you've done, you should be talking to each other about, all right, what how do we one
I
up
mean,
this?
it's like
What's
next?
Where we
You
at
don't
now?
need you don't need a lot of skill. I mean, what Adam Demansky? We went to Australia. Went to the Rhino Bar in Cairns, Australia. If you've ever been to Cairns, Australia, you know the Rhino Bar. And Adam entered in a dance competition, and he won like a big trip, like all expenses paid to Sydney from Cairns. He ended up giving it to Matt Weber, or yeah, no, not Matt Weber. He gave it to who was on the boat? It wasn't Matt Weber. Someone else. He gave it to someone. Alan Stewart. He gave it to Alan Stewart, but it was a free car rental and trip to Sydney. And he says, "I got 2 moves: Eiffel Tower and Bid and Snap." And he just goes and just mixes them up. And
That's true.
he won a dance off with just 2 moves. So if you got the skill, just
Yeah, that's true.
just the Bid and Snap.
That's true.
That's it. That's all he did. Just the same dance move over and over again. So anyway, yeah, we're not going to overshare too much. Just there's this one time in a tent. You know, it was cold. All right, but nonetheless, so that's all I really got. So how have you found? Is at thewolverines.com. It's a website. You can go to it in the interwebs, find links to cool stuff like Patreon or merchandise. I will try to get back on a more consistent release schedule since I'm like a month behind. I got plenty of episodes to release. I will release an episode next week, even though we're not recording next week. So if you listen to the podcast, you don't listen to the YouTube channel, you won't hear this until I release it, which will
So
be
you won't know.
So you won't know. But if you
it won't even be this one that gets released next week.
yeah, it won't be this one. So I just released chapters 1 and 2 today. So we're on chapters 11 and 12. So I'm a little behind. All right. So anyways, I'm gonna try to get back on a better schedule. It's just been busy with the house. Now the house is being listed. It's kind of a hurry up and wait kind of thing. I'm sure there'll be another busy season where we actually go through the move. But that will just be like a 1-week thing. So it won't be like a crazy, like getting a house ready. Once we move into a new place, there might be a couple of busy seasons of fixing things up. Yeah, unpacking, getting things ready, fixing up anything that we need to fix up.
Making the
ours.
previous house's furniture somehow work in the new house because it never works perfectly.
We're leaving a lot of furniture behind just because like we don't like the furniture anyway. We're just like, yep, it's just staying. They can deal with it. Whoever buys the house, we're not telling them that. We're just gonna leave. There's gonna be furniture in there. They can throw it away.
7-Eleven's asking about the did you get his message for the book?
I did get the message. Sorry, you will be getting a book soon. Yes.
Yep, it's happening. Trust me,
It's happening.
We've been poking him behind the scenes also.
Yeah, no. I got the message. It's coming your way. So
Woohoo.
yep. I hate moving, really try to avoid it. Yeah. No, I haven't moved in. I've been in this house now for 10 years. So it's been 10 years since I moved. Like sucks because last time I moved, I had a lot of friends that were still in their 20s. So like I had friends that could help me move. Now most of my friends are in their late 30s and 40s. I only got friends that can help me move. this.
Yeah, once you get to this age, you get to just hire movers.
Yeah,
When it comes to it, I'll give you a hand on like some small stuff if you're doing it without movers. But
there's a meme out there, and it said like, once you get over 35, your friends aren't going to help you move because no one's going to risk
a beers.
No one's going to risk a slip disc for 2 Bud Lights and a slice of pizza. Like it's just
Great.
In the 20s, sure, but no one's going to slip a disc for that.
Yeah, I'll drive a truck, but I don't want to load it.
Yeah, I mentioned it to my boss. My boss is older than I am. He's like, "I'll let you borrow my truck. I ain't coming to help you move."
Yep.
Yeah, to pay movers. Now, I mean, I'll move most of it myself. We've already packed most of the stuff up, and like we'll probably just rent a U-Haul and just do it in 1 or 2 trips. Not even that big of a deal. We're moving locally too. It's not like we're moving like across states and something like it. You can make multiple trips. So, yeah. Anyway, sounds good. So that's all I got for this week. So
until next time.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching The Wheel Reads.
Until next time. Get your Coast Guard certified life-saving device ready and strapped on.
Where are we going tonight?
What kind of strap on you talking about?